All right, it's Tuesday, October 7th, and I took way too many trades today, but I felt good even though my accuracy was crap, and um, I'm red for the day. But I feel good about the trades I did take and how fast I can cut losers. Um, a couple of these, of course, if you let it go, it may, or let it breathe and maybe go past my kind of mental stop would have worked out, but that's just not worth it. So today I took 29 trades, 11 winners, 19 losers, but I'm only down. This is 200 shares, but I'm only down $135. So less than a point. And a couple of the bad losers were on. One was on a higher price stock, which I got in just a little bit too early, and I lost like $200, a point on that. And then I kept on trading ZNB. Well, let's go through this. Let's dissect these, and it's gonna take a while but I marked all these out, so hopefully this will be real quick, and I'll kind of briefly go over what my thought process was on each trade, and then try to figure out, okay, this worked and this didn't work because of this reason. So let's back this up. All right, first trade, 7:32. So it was 30 minutes in. I was trying to get in off this off this line, and I think if I'm this close to the VWAP, I should just wait for the VWAP for support. And as you can see, right when I got in, it dumped way down, but I was able to cut it for a $4. Actually, I got a $4 winner out of this, just because I saw it hesitating, and I was like, man, the VWAP's right there. It's gonna pull it to it. And then if I would have just waited, then I could have caught this move right here. And this was the move. Like, really, when you look at a stock and he has that one big move, if you weren't in it, I would say, unless there's some really clear uh, support dips or support entries, then maybe you should try to stay away from it until it breaks that new all-time high again, or the daily high, not all-time high. All right, so next one, 754. Um, right here. Okay, so how did I go red on this, right? So I had my trend line just a little bit too high, I think. So right when I got in, I saw it continuing down. So I immediately got out. And I lost on this one. Instead of, I was right on my analysis here as far as where this is going to kind of possibly reverse. However, it just went down just a little bit further, and that's the thing. It's something I got to learn is when the stock is jackknifing like this. So we put in like 6 red candles in a row. So eventually it's going to turn around. Trying to catch that falling knife, I got to maybe go in there with smaller size so we can open up the stop loss a little bit to let the stock slow down first and then reverse. Because very rarely do you see this kind of action right here, just like a straight V, like a whipsaw. Usually it's like circles like this, circles until it hits that apex point and then it sells off. Um, so I think letting it kind of hit that area, trying to see what it's gonna do first. Is it going to hold support, or is it going to immediately turn around? And the age-old saying, "There's always another opportunity." All right, so the next one, let's just continue with ZMB, and I will go to the next because I traded this a lot on the unfortunately the backside of this move. It never reached 9 again. Maybe after open, nope, it never reached it again. Look at all those times I traded it, and that was the thing. So, all right, so 824. So it was consolidating, on the backside, and I was trying to get ready for another pop up, and I got in so many times anticipating that move. Saw volume coming in, saw this volume coming in. I'm like, okay, so here we go. This dip down got bought right back up, so I'm like, this is probably the kind of the generalized support area, which is kind of right in this area right here. So I was kind of buying off this level, waiting for this big move back up. To be honest, I should have just waited for dang VWAP to hit, because really taking 4 trades beforehand, they were all pretty much losers. For very small, by the way. Like my largest loser here was, I lost. Looks like the largest one I had a little bit over 10 cents. Everything else was pretty tight. That was the move here, so no reason to go through that for each trade. This one I caught just because it broke over this line. I didn't even mark that yet. Let's see here, not a ray. Kind of broke over this line, came back and retested, so I got in right there, so that was good. I got in right here, so that was good. So, I did have some winners out of this. I was able to extract some, but, before it hit VWAP, basically it was just, I got out, or I took, 4 losses in a row, basically. But they were very small. So once again, I caught a couple of good moves here, but then I caught some losers in this area, just because I was waiting for this another spike up on this stock. I basically chose the wrong one because I thought this was kind of the obvious one. I thought GLTO was a little bit too overpriced, and then TMQ had a larger float, so ZMB was the best option, and it had plenty of volume coming in. So a lot of these trades I probably should have stayed out of, trying to anticipate this move, and it was probably some FOMO involved, because oh my gosh, like, I gotta be the worst trader in the world to watch this go up, you know what I'm saying, and not get in anywhere on this. Like, how did I not get in anywhere on this? So that was probably an underlying cause for all these short trades waiting for this pop. Basically, I traded the backside of this move, waiting for another. Look at all those trades I took, and probably 75% of them were losers, but at least for a very small amount. So the total ZMB I was down the most was 116. So a little bit over 50 cents. All right, so next one was Coke, COCH. Breaking news, terrible. So, all right, I got to stop trading breaking news here, because I'm no good at it. All right, so the first one, getting right at the top, I thought it was holding. I thought it was holding here. I thought it was holding this line and trying to go back up, but I should have saw the topping tails and not got in. So that was the first one. That was a loser. And then, I'm sorry. Next one, I got bounce off VWAP for a small scalp. Sorry, my MacBook is yelling at me.
To learn how to use VoiceOver to set up your Mac, press the escape key.
All right, sorry. Apple's so pushy. All right, and then I took one more trade right here, and I thought for sure this was lining up for a pretty big move. right here because of this big long standing support right here, and we were gonna, the one time I get in, it breaks the support and goes down. So the plays were bounce off VWAPs here, but it was kind of riding VWAP the whole time here, and then it kind of broke away from it, and I was like, okay, so it got bought up pretty good right here. Look at all this volume right here, or volume right here, and I was like, okay, so we're gonna get in right here, and it's gonna rip higher because the news was okay on it, or maybe did it have news? I'd have to look into that, but yeah, it did have news because we had as a breaking news stock. I'm not sure what it was though. All right, next one. Okay. Yeah, this one was another breaking news. Ogen. I gotta stop doing breaking news because I'm terrible at it. I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like I thought I was like, okay, it's holding support, like letting it develop. So here it's I probably could have made something off this, but I got out. So 8:30. So I got into that blue line. Try to get like near VWAP here, and actually I think it was the next candle. I felt like because I saw this was green, and I thought this was gonna go at least pump higher back over the high. This candle looked really good, because it came down, bounced right back up. But I guess once it touches VWAP, if it doesn't shoot up, that's a sign that I don't think it's very strong, because usually that's the catalyst for these new stocks is you have the pump, the initial pump, and then you have the VWAP right below it, and then the pump comes back down, or the stock comes back down, touches VWAP, and then shoots immediately higher. And I guess it touched VWAP, but it didn't shoot higher than the previous high. And that should have been a sign that, hey, this is not that strong. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. So I got to make a mental note of that. As you can see, it briefly broke right here. Fake out, man. I wonder how many people got burned on this one. But the stock's only $1.60, so hopefully nobody. So I lost a little bit on that one. But I got to meet, like I said, I cut all my losers really short. And the worst one was GLTO for a 1 point loss. All right, next one, ULY. I think this was breaking news as well. No, I think it was just moving. And I think we're almost to open here. This is right before open. All right, ULY. So once again, missed this big move right here. Oh my gosh, what am I doing, right? Try to get bounce off VWAP, didn't work. And the other one was, I saw this kind of setting up below VWAP, and I thought it was going to curl back up for another run up higher. Nope, bounced back down, and broke down. So ULY, 2 losers on that one. All right, GLTO. You're probably wondering, like, how am I not down with all these losers? Like $10,000, right? It's because it's called random success. I get lucky every now and then. This is pure luck. All right, so this one. So we're after open here, and I'm like, man, this thing's gonna dip down. And this was the obvious stock, leading gainer. Were lots of volume. This thing kind of had this huge pump and then kind of consolidated for the rest of the pre-market. And I was like, man, when this stock opens, I feel like we're gonna have some action. So. So we do. It sells off, and then it turns green, and it's holding the support line here, and I thought it was going to go right here because it, you know, it had that look to it, you know, but it comes back down, and I was like, and I had this line drawn. I was like, I'm going to get in right here because I think it's going to go right here. It held that support again, and it did. And I got, I went into the halt. I held it to the halt, and I got to stop doing that because I feel like I'm part of the dip on the halt resumption. I'm the part of that sells, that brings the stock down and then rips because I'm too scared. So I sold up here for so it was a $342 winner, $2, so a little over $1.75 or something like that. So I turned it around on GLTO. So if I didn't have this loser, you know, I would have been green for the day. And I saw this dip right here for the re-entry, but I didn't take it, and I should have, because this could at least got you another, you know, 3 or 4 points on that run. And let's see here. So I traded 2 more. Luckily, all the stock outs basically, besides the 2. Actually, there's gonna be 3 breaking news. There's 1 more. We're all the top gainers. It's not like I was trading trash. Which, you know, the breaking news ones I were trading were trash. Yeah. All right, so here I got the dip and rip here for a small scalp, and then let's see here. The problem today was I was going back and forth to too many stocks, like back and forth, and I just need to concentrate on like a few, and I was just and like I said, I'll throw some of the live trades into my daily trading practice that I do, just to have a look. But here I thought we broke this. I thought it was gonna go. I thought it was gonna squeeze higher right here, and then I got a winner right here. I think, yeah. So it did squeeze on that one. Last one, WETH. So that's wrapped Ethereum. That's not wrapped Ethereum. This is just a trash stock here. All right, breaking news up. So basically, I buy the top on all breaking news. Yep. So I bought there, lost 10 cents. And then I bought here for this. I thought this was holding up again. You know, I was like, man, this is, you know, all the breaking news that I'm doing, it's holding up. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna let this go again. It had an interesting headline. Let me find it. It may not even be on the gainers. It was an interesting headline. And then so I bought here for the squeeze higher out of this wedge. Didn't go. And then the last one I took basically was break even. Because I wanted this to break since it got bought up down here. And then it kind of was forming another kind of squeeze through VWAP. It didn't give it to me though. It tried twice and then sold off. But that's it for the trades, man. I traded a lot, and I feel like I got some really good experience from that. Just because I think trading like 1, maybe 2 times a day, trying to find that perfect setup. Oh, man, that's probably tough for a beginner like me, like that has no idea what they're doing, because what if that one trade is a loser or the 2 trades are losers, and you're like, man, I don't feel like I really gained too much experience from that, because I feel like trading with money is a different game than sim trading. It's like poker. I could play poker for play money is totally different than sitting down at a table with a couple bands, trying to get a session going. So, but 200 trades is like right at my kind of pushing my comfort zone at this point. So I think it's perfect. I'm getting the perfect emotional experience. Um, I'm waiting for that one big, huge loss that I take. I've taken a lot of losses, but like that huge like $1,000 loss or something, um, on like an offering or something. So, but as soon as I'm in my trade, I got my two fingers on the ask and the bid to sell. So on the upticks, I'm selling on the ask, and then if I'm in panic mode, I go straight out. So, all right. Well, like I said, that's it for today, and we'll have some these from some of these live trades on for my my trade practice.